for Benedictine. Here come the Vikings right up the middle, and Cameron Ford gets a first down and more. He breaks to the outside. The Vikings have to pull him down from behind. That's Michael Barnes. But that's probably the longest run of the day for Cameron Ford.
Yeah, 211-pound senior back. He's a load, and the Vikes have done a good job on him, but he got some room to the outside that time and takes it all the way down to just shy of the 30-yard line, Benedictine in Viking territory, but it's all Vikings, 42-13 with 7:30 left in the game.
Yeah, we'll let him run the ball right now. Walton will take the snap, low snap, picks it up off the turf, steps up, wants to get rid of it, rolls to his right. He's directing receivers down into the end zone and throws it away. Oh. And that's got to be...
They're going to call interference on somebody.
I think on Jordan Jackson.
Well,
I would think.
It would be justice if it is, because those big receivers, they've been shoving and that, looking for the Vikings back there in coverage that time. It was Kendall Thomas, a junior defensive back, and he was with Jackson pretty well back in that
let's see who they're going to call it on. Ooh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Well, I guess anymore, and I'm not criticizing this. You watch it in the NFL. I don't know how a defensive back ever covers a receiver.
No. Those guys, that's the way they get separation a good part of the time, that little shove to the midsection. And
all right, but the ball's at the again, in college, it's just a 15-yard penalty. It is not a spot foul.
It's kind of like sometimes you let a little guy push, but in basketball, you have a big guy pushing, it's a different story.
So it is first down, and they'll hand it off maybe a yard, and that's going to be it down to the 20-yard line. And that was the quarterback, Jaron Walton. So it's second down and 8. Second down and 8. Ball just inside the 20-yard line. We'll have a visit with the coach after the ball game. Walton, two-step drop, looks, throws, end zone, and that one's off the fingertips of Akpom. The big guy got up there, got his hands on it, but couldn't hang on to the slippery ball. It'll be third down at the 19-yard line.
And Walton's really throwing that ball pretty well here in this drive. We thought he was a runner, and he is, but he's thrown a couple of good passes here in this last drive.
Third down, Vikings again trying to keep them out. The final is not in doubt anymore. It's 42-13. But as you said, for rankings, and they are important.
Yeah.
Where you are in the playoff picture and how many home games you get, another touchdown certainly wouldn't hurt to keep them out of the end zone. Walton throws over the middle, away.
DeMarcus Blackman, a great play that time. Oh, they're going to call.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, going to call either holding or interference, I guess.
Wow. I thought he was right on that. Boy, that's going to be a tough one if that's a penalty, because he reached around and knocked that ball away.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of contact myself.
I did not either. Boy, the crowd's not going to like that.
Okay. And again, that was not pass interference. It was defensive holding, so it might have happened before we saw what we saw.
So, wow, that's a big penalty. That moves it all the way down to the 9-yard line.
And Vikings putting some of their starters back in on defense now. I think they want to keep Benedictine out if they can.
Keep them out if they can. It's first down and goal to 9-yard line.
Oh,
yeah. Run it. Forget that. Cameron Poore didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, says Andrew Human.
Andrew Human and Ty Phillips were both there to shake Mr. Ford's hand when he got to the line of scrimmage. Trip Thomas also in the neighborhood. So good pursuit to the left side. That's a loss that time. So it's going to be second down and goal. Ball back on about the 13-yard line, 12 or 13.
Now they want to keep him out. Monty Rowe brought his first-team defense back onto the field in that first and goal. Now it's second and goal. Under center is Walton. He rolls to his left. He's got some room to run. Going to throw it back of the end zone. Has a receiver there for the touchdown.
Is that Akpom?
And that's Akpom again.
He's wide open that time.
Couple of penalties on that drive and touchdown for Benedictine. So they score one late. It's now 42-19.
And I'd say give Walton credit. He's a much better quarterback now than he was when he entered the game.
Boy, no question about that.
At the beginning of the He's played the entire second half just about.
They'll go for 2 here. Remember, they missed that extra point earlier, so it's 42-19 and going for two. Walton rolls, throws, and that one is incomplete. And I think he was trying to hit Emmanuel Osei, a tight end. So they missed a couple of conversions, and it's 42-19. 5:49 left. It's all Vikings. We're back in a moment. Viking Sports Network.
For welding or fabrication, call
Ernie, Bob, and Homie.
the muscle behind the madness at Heinzler Brothers in Marshall. These guys do it all. From a simple welding job to major repairs, call
Ernie, Bob, and Homie.
They may not be pretty, but they're witty and can design and make anything out of metal. Big or small, they weld it all. Steel to aluminum, drive lines to trailer hitches. If you need welding, call
Ernie, Bob, and Homie.
with Heinzler Brothers in Marshall, 886-7775.
Well, you know what the Vikings are thinking here. Onside kick as they have Travis Thornton, Chris Owen.
Got the All-State team in there, the good hands people.
Jaron Gordon up front. Alex is up there. Alex Benson up front.
And there are only two guys back past the 50-yard line.
That's Tyler Davis and Keith O'Neill. Well, they have to try the onside. That's the only chance they have. 5:49 left. But missing those extra points, now you need about 3 scores plus. Now the Vikings will take a timeout. Let's take a quick one as well. 5:49 to go. 42-19. Third-ranked Vikings with a lead. It's homecoming on the Viking Sports Network.
Mexico Lindo is the perfect place to go with the entire family for delicious, authentic Mexican food. The best Mexican restaurant in Marshall. See for yourself why so many diners are repeat customers. Great service, delicious food, and an atmosphere that brings a little bit of Mexico right here to mid-Missouri. So before or after the game, load up and refresh yourself with authentic Mexican food at Mexico Lindo, located on the corner of Boyd and Lafayette, just north of the Marshall Square. For more information or to see their menu, go to MexicoLindoMarshall.com.
Well, the Vikings took a timeout. I guess what they wanted to do is just to see what type of look they were going to get from Benedictine. But they still have Brinkley's up front, guys that can handle a football. LaQuentin Black is up there. All right. 5:49 left. Fans have enjoyed this one. The cheerleaders are freezing down there in the rain. What a job they've done tonight. And here's the little, they're going to drill it. And it's touched by Keith O'Neill. He'll pick it up in the end zone and bring it out. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
And let's see what Keith can do with it. He looks for a block. He gets to the 10, up to the 15, and steps out of bounds. I think he probably thought once I touch it, I have to bring it out. You do not have to. He didn't have control. He could have taken it, but he brings it out to the they're going to give him the 16-yard line.
Yeah, he did make a move to get to the outside. He could have been pinned inside the 5, so that ended up being better than it could have been. So,
we don't have any scores yet off the heart. Let's see if we can get a couple of those before we're done here.
Interesting to see how that Central Methodist Graceland game comes out. That'll be a pretty good barometer to tell how far Graceland's come. And that's who we play next week on the road.
And that's not going to be easy in Lamona, I guarantee you. This team. But what I think right now, Joe, this team is focused, and they know what's ahead of them now as this season rolls along. Here's Beasley, hands it off to McNeil. Nothing there. Keith tries to bounce it to the outside, and he's going to lose a couple of yards.
Yeah, tripped up there by one of the linebackers, and I think that's a new player in the lineup for Benedictine. I believe that's Colin McEntee. He's a senior, 212-pounder, made the first hit that time for Benedictine. That'll be a loss of a couple yards on the play.
Down to 5:24 left. Valley with the lead.
You want to go out? You want to go out and interview Coach Troth in the rain today?
You know, you do such a great job of that week in and week out. We'll let you do it.
Where's my umbrella?
It is second down at about 13. Beasley. Vikings keep it on the ground. No secret here. And O'Neill breaks the tackle, now turns it upfield and gets across the 15 back to the original line of scrimmage. He went in there, nothing there, bounced it all the way back to the 7, then got another head of steam and rammed in there again, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10.
And if he'd have broken that tackle that time was by Ankar. If he'd have broken that, Keith might have gone another 20 yards. He had some room right up the middle of the field, so almost a big play there.
Remember, he had the 70-some yard touchdown run against Culver in his first carry of that game. 3rd and 10 from the 17. Beasley awaits the snap. And we'll throw a little out pattern. It's batted by one of those linemen. And
that's
again,
that big lineman wearing number
McCoy.
11.
Daniel McCoy.
Yeah.
So the Vikes will have to punt it away. And Benedictine not going away quietly. Couple of scores for you. Alabama leads Missouri 28-7, 3:30 to go until halftime. We mentioned K-State's win over Iowa State. And Oklahoma rolled past Texas.
And I would imagine this rain's pretty well just drifted on down toward Columbia. I'm not sure, but
say they're getting it too. Maiden now will punt it away. Standing about his own 5, and you know they're coming after this one. Let's see if the Viking special teams can do a good job of blocking here. Good snap. Takes his time, and that was blocked, partially blocked. It's off the side of his foot, and will go out at the 21-yard line. Yes, Maiden goes down, but I think somebody got a hand on that ball. So Benedictine not going quietly, as they're going to have it again at about the 21-yard line.
And now it's getting very dark again. Looks like we're playing a night game right now.
About ready to get some heavy rain. Okay, here we go. It looks like Graceland knocked off Central Methodist 17-14 today.
Wow, was that in Fayette?
No, yes, that was in Fayette. Yeah, big win for Graceland.
Win. Yeah, they've gotten a lot better.
17-14. So after the blocked punt, it's first down at the 20-yard line for Benedictine. They want to throw it. And they do to the sideline, short gain to the tight end, and it'll be second down. That was to Alex Boyd. Another score, Evangel beat Peru today, 38-23. We go there in a couple of weeks.
Peru comes here, too. So Isaac Reed there to make the stop. Also, Sherrard Ellen on the stop for the Vikings. That's a pretty good gain of about 6-7 yards.
Boy, the rain's coming down again.
Yep.
Second down. Here's Walton. He wants to throw it. He's got a man there inside the 5. And it'll be first and goal. And Benedictine, they're not going to win this game. They're going to make it a lot more interesting. A lot of people wanted them to.
Well, Philip Fowler there to make the hit for the Vikings. That was the big receiver again, I think, Ankoff?
I believe so. He's had a huge game.
I think it was Akpom that made the catch.
Game.
They've got Ankar and Akpom. So.
But the Vikes are in control of this one. It's kind of like the Baker game where late Baker has put a couple touchdowns up. But here we go for a 2-yard line, first and goal, and ahead, and that's a touchdown. Cameron Four scores. So Benedictine making this a lot closer than a lot of people wanted it to be, but it was 42-13 at one time. It's now 42-25. And we have an injured Viking down in the end zone. But the Vikings are still in great shape. But Benedictine making a little bit closer. I think this time of the season you're playing number 12, though you're going to stay at least number 3 no matter what happens. So.
Yeah, you should. And they played a pretty good team, and I think, I guess maybe the pollsters won't look. They'll look at the final score. Maybe that's all they'll know. But, the Vikings at one time were ahead, 42-13. So,
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But, again, an interception, block punt, so make a couple mistakes, and Benedictine's making them pay for those mistakes. We have an injured player. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Viking Sports Network.
Missouri Valley College has a legendary athletic and academic tradition. We want to continue that tradition by recruiting the top student athletes. We offer scholarships in 17 intercollegiate sports. We continue to lead the way not only in the Heart of America Athletic Conference, but also nationally in the NAIA. Call 660-831-4114 or visit moval.edu. Share our tradition. Share our pride. Missouri Valley College in Marshall.
Injured player was DeMarcus Blackman. Now they're going to, looks like Benedictine just going to go for the extra point here. Keenan will try to kick it. 42-25, so Benedictine getting some points on the board late here. But it was 42-13. Again, almost reminiscent of the Baker game. The Vikings dominate play and then give up a couple of scores late. But Keenan will attempt the extra point. High snap, gets it down, kick is up, and it is through. So it's 42-26 as the Ravens not giving up yet. Still 3:20 to go. We'll be back on the Viking Sports Network.
Excuse the mess at John Rector Motors. We'll remodel the dealership to serve you better. Just like Chevy, Buick, and GMC are serving you with the highest quality, highest mileage vehicles they've ever built. From Chevy Volt to GMC Sierra, GM is building the cars and trucks America wants, with savings up to $6,000 or 0% financing depending on the model. That new Chevy, Buick, or GMC is more affordable than ever. See Eddie, Charlie, or Karen and take a test drive today at John Rector Motors in Marshall, where Chevy runs deep.
Well, I'm looking down the sideline. I think Stephon Kelly thought he was out of the ball game. He had his jersey and his pads off, and he ran over and put him on in a hurry. So I guess Coach is going to give him one more shot of it here in the homecoming game, his final homecoming game.
He's been one of those outstanding offensive linemen for us that does a good job week after week. So going to hate to see him go.
What the Vikings need to do here is come up with his onside kick.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, I'm sure.
Because of the missed extra points, it's still still a 3-possession game, but
yeah, I don't know, 16.
Yeah, I guess
16 points. They get two touchdowns, two two-point conversions. They can tie it.
So Vikings need to get this. They need to get this ball right here. They're going to try to kick it over to the right side. That's what they do. And the Vikings fall on, and that was Chris Owens.
Chris Owens, yep. Good play by Chris.
It went right to him, and Big Chris just cradled it with those soft hands, big body, soft hands, and it's first down at the 45-yard line.
Didn't try to run with it, just lay it on top of it and said, now you guys see if you can take this away from me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to try to wrestle him for a ball, a pumpkin, anything else.
No way. Good job by Chris. Here come the Vikings. And, they bring
Norris Dukes in at the running back. Taylor Beasley still in at quarterback. Delvon Franklin in at the blocking back position.
And Stephon's back in at that right tackle spot. On first down, they want to run the ball that way, and they give it off to Dukes. Lenoris, he was
that's a horse collar there.
Helmet and thrown down.
That's the old horse collar tackle right there.
Now, Josh Montgomery saying I didn't have face mask, but he had a hold of the headgear and the back of the shoulder pads and everything else.
You can give a guy a pretty good neck injury by doing that. That was a good call right there.
And that has to be a penalty on Benedictine.
Well,
personal foul.
Better get my rain gear. You're not going down. I better get my rain gear and head out to the battlefield here.
Coach Troth is rather superstitious, and he doesn't want to change anything.
He wouldn't know you down there.
He don't want to change anything. So after the penalty, boy, I'll tell you, Lenoris Duke's head spun around, and he was tackled. So the ball's now down at the 26-yard line. Vikings up 42-26 with only 3 minutes remaining. So Valley's going to go to 6-0. And be no worse than third in the nation next Monday when the poll comes out. Ooh, saw a little bit of lightning over there. Up in the sky, not ground lightning, but see any more of that, they'll probably just call this thing off. Ball is marked at the 26-yard line. First down for Valley, 3 minutes to go. Now some thunder. Handoff, Dukes right up the middle. Lenoris gets to the 25. Down to the 22-yard line goes Lenoris Dukes. That'll be a 9-yard gain. It'll be second down and 2.
This is Lenoris Dukes' moment right now. This is his kind of situation. Just try to eat some time up, and he's taking it north to south right down the field.
There's some rumbling in those dark clouds above. Vikings want to take it in again. I wouldn't mind them taking one more in to make it 49-26. Valley runs that clock down. They take that play clock. It's now down at 10, and they're just standing around. Now Beasley will get ready in the formation. Give it off to Dukes. Dukes hit again. He's close to the first down at the 16 with 1:41 to go. So Valley going to go to 6-0. Ranked third, we'll go on the road next week to Graceland. Graceland knocked off CMU today in Fayette, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Ball at the 16-yard line. Again, that is a first down, so he got enough to pick up the first down. Now once again, the Vikings will just take that clock all the way down. That's what they wanted to do once they got that onside kick. Now they're going to a victory formation, so Paul Tross says that's enough. And Beasley takes the snap, flips it to the official. Again, the two scores we don't have a Culver-Avila score, but again, Graceland a win today at CMU. And in our other contest today, it was Evangel. And how about the job Evangel's doing? They're staying right in this conference race as Evangel knocked off Peru State. Well, Vikings will have to run one more play. And then they will own this victory and move to 6-0 on the season. And they will have knocked off Mid-America Nazarene, Baker, and now Benedictine. And that was the last snap. And that's going to do it. Paul Tross says, let's put this one in the books. And the Vikings do just that as they win it by the score of 42-26. We'll be back to start the postgame in 1 minute on the Viking Sports Network.
You plant one field at a time. You harvest one field at a time. It stands to reason that you should plan your fall fertilizer and chemical application one field at a time. This is Kelly Thorpe with Central Missouri Agri-Service. We know it can be pretty hectic during harvest. That's why we're ready to help you manage your fall.
Hey, Ken, don't forget I need that wrap after you get done.
Missouri Agri-Service, where our success is measured by your success.
Dream of turning a few acres of land into something extraordinary? Kubota lets you be extraordinary and accomplish the extraordinary with a BX 2660 subcompact tractor. So much power, comfort, and versatility in a single all-purpose work machine, headlights to hitch. The BX 2660 delivers the quality you'd expect from Kubota, nothing less than extraordinary. See the Kubota BX 2660 now at Marshall Service Company on Commerce Drive in Marshall.
We're back to Greg Mitchell Field as the Vikings win it today. Final score was 42-26, so a nice homecoming victory for the Vikings. And more importantly than that, it keeps them undefeated at 6-0. The Ravens now have lost 2 conference games as they lost again at Evangel. They have yet to play Baker and yet to play Mid-America Nazarene. They were ranked 12th coming in. But the Vikings still have a 1-game lead in the conference. Mid-America Nazarene with 1 loss, but they're not in the conference action today. Baker is off with 1 loss, and I'm sure we probably had some viewers there watching with interest this game this afternoon from Baldwin City. And the Vikings come away with a big win. At one time, it was 42-13. In fact, early it was Benedictine. They took the opening kickoff, drove right down the field to score, but LaQuentin Black with a huge kickoff return. Vikings scored. Then the Vikings got some great special teams play. And now the Ted Chitwood Award is being given to Xavier Stewart. Xavier had about 150, 160 yards rushing today, and he also had an 89-yard touchdown run late in the first half that really upped this thing and opened this thing up for the Vikings as they win it by the score of 42-26. Let's take another break, and when we come back, we will go down to the field and talk to the coach. But we'll take another break, and we'll be right back. Viking Sports Network.
For a living. You're always looking for the latest advances to make your fields more profitable. That's why it's time to turn to Channel. When you plant quality Channel seed products, you also get the services of your very own Channel seedsman. You see, your seedsman works with you year-round to make the most of your operation. That's seedsmanship at work.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields. Contact Mid-State Seed in Marshall at 886-5578. Ask for Curtis, Craig, or Jack. Mid-State Seed, firmly planted in partnership.
Well, next week the Vikings hit the road. We go to Lamoni, Iowa to take on Graceland. That'll be a 2 o'clock start. Other games next week, we start looking ahead now. It'll be Mid-America Nazarene at Benedictine, so the Ravens will be back home. Another very tough opponent in Mid-America Nazarene, and I guess we'll root for the Ravens next week, and maybe they can give Mid-Am their second loss in the conference. That'll be next week. Central Methodist travels to Peru. Lindenwood Belleville will be at Culver. Avila's at Evangel, and of course Valley will be at Graceland. It's homecoming for Graceland next week, so that's next on the schedule. And then after that, the Vikings come home to take on Peru State. Then we go on the road to Evangel and wrap up the regular season on November 10th here against CMU. But third-ranked Valley, a 42-26 win, a homecoming win today over the Benedictine Ravens. Paul Troth talking to his club right now, and then we'll get some comments from him and Joe All. And I think we're going to have Xavier Stewart, who won the Ted Chitwood Award, as well. Don't forget, there's soccer coming up tonight, so if you're in the area, you might hang around, and both Benedictine teams are here, and so we'll have some soccer starting in about an hour. 6 o'clock soccer, as the women will play first, and then the match between the men. So it should be an interesting evening here at Greg Mitchell Field. We'd also have some of the statistics. By the way, Xavier Stewart won the Ted Chitwood Award today, and for Xavier, he had 140 yards rushing on 11 attempts. His longest, that 89-yard run, averaged 12.7 yards rushing. How about an interception for another senior on this, for another one of our leaders, Tyler Davis. Tyler, of course, just a junior, but he had an interception in this ball game. Vikings played well. They were up 42-13 late in the up 42-13 late or early in the fourth quarter before giving up a couple of touchdowns, but still it goes as a 42-26 win. So down on the field, Coach Paul Troth has visited with his club. A very successful homecoming. Vikings in this game today, total offensive yards of 464 and 232 yards total for Benedictine. In fact, Benedictine only 76 yards rushing, so the Vikings once again improve their national ranking. I think they were fourth coming in against the rush, and they'll improve on that, only giving up 76 yards rushing to a team that likes to rush the football. So that was very, very impressive there. Looking through the umbrellas, I think we can go down to the field, and let's go down to the field and Joe All.
Okay, Coach, come on under the umbrella with me. But talking now with Coach Paul Troth. And, Coach, it's starting to sound like a broken record, but another quality win against a ranked opponent.
Well, yeah, we knew Benedictine was a very good team, and we were going to have to play well. And I was real proud of our kids as we came out and made some big plays in the first half and got up and were able to hold on.
Turning point in the game, I thought they had us backed up pretty deep in our territory, tied 7-7. That big pass play, 74 yards, Bruce Reyes to Seth Martinko. Then fumble punt, Michael Barnes gets that touchdown. Those two plays turned the game around.
Yeah, those were big plays and got some momentum our way. And we knew with it being wet like this, it was kind of difficult to throw the ball effectively. But, we felt like we had enough lead that we could just hang in there. And that was, like I said, I'm real happy for our kids. It was a great homecoming win for us.
You block another punt. That's getting to be a habit.
Well, Coach Barry Rabe does a great job with our special teams and schemes it all week. So our guys have been executing. And that's the thing. That's a huge turnaround in a play because that's a big chunky yardage when you can block a punt. And that was definitely one of the big ones.
Next week we go to Graceland. They're much improved. They beat Central Methodist today.
Well, I told our kids that our challenge is the same as it's always been, but you get to a certain point and, a lot of people want you to talk to you about down the road and all that stuff. Is just we got to prepare the same way. We got to go through our routine and make sure we're diligent in doing everything that we've been doing and try to get ready to play next week.
Coach, you're 6-0. Great job.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you, Joe, and that'll about wrap things up as the Vikings win this one by the score of 42-26. Again, taking a look at some of the numbers, the Vikings had 464 yards of offense to 232 for Benedictine. Let's go back to the on the field. Xavier Stewart was the winner of the Ted Chitwood Award. We'll head back to
Ken,
Joe.
we're going to talk real quickly now with Ted Chitwood, a winner, Xavier Stewart. Xavier, great game, probably 150. You don't have the final totals, 160 yards. But here we are, look like we're going to run the first half clock out. You break 189 yards for a touchdown. Talk about that run.
We had the play drawn up. The stretch was working all game, and our boy Roy, he was hurting. His foot was hurting. He said he's going to go down there and cut. A line made great blocks. receivers were blocking downfield, and it was just an open goal.
Xavier, you're getting better and better every week, having big game after big game, and really, it seems like you're enjoying yourself out here.
I am. I've been away from football for 2 years, so it took me a while to get back going how I used to play. But as the season goes on, I'm getting stronger. We're making this championship run for the national championship.
Well, congratulations on getting the Chetwood Award. That's quite an accomplishment, and we got some big games left, and a great job today.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Ken, back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. So, again, our final score is 42-26. Valley now 6-0. They'll rank third, maybe higher, depending on what happens in those other two big matchups. The big one is the defending national champs at St. Francis, Illinois. They're ranked 7th, and they're playing at number 1 Marion today, so we'll keep an eye on that one for you as well. Joe and I will be in Lamoni, Iowa next Saturday. Graceland, the opponent, will be on the air at 1:30. Thanks to KMMO Radio and Marshall, and thanks to all of you listening on Stretch, also on live stream, and a great job as always by Chaz Maddie and all of the folks who bring us the pictures on the livestream.com. Final score, 42-26. Enjoy the rest of the homecoming weekend as Valley rolls again this afternoon. So long from Greg Mitchell.
Hey, Ken.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to have to go to the production studio to do your rap.
That'll be fine.
All right?
You bet.
AuburnHSL.com.
In the business of farming, Grow with Confidence means knowing the seed you plant is going to perform. It means having access to the latest technologies and the best genetics. It means having product lines that put you ahead in the field. Keith Owen of Owen Seed Company in Carrollton, combined with Gar Seed, gives you that and more. In fact, call now to find out about the free book.